cleaning removes food and other dirt from a surface. Sanitizing reduces pathogens on a surface to safe levels. Must be stable, non-corrosive and safe to use. To use cleaners correctly, follow these guidelines. Follow manufacturer's instructions carefully. If not used the correct way, cleaners may not work and can even be dangerous. Do not use one type of cleaner in place of another unless the intended use is the same. This can be done by using food contact surfaces must be sanitized after they have been cleaned and rinsed. This can be done by using heat, chemicals. One way to sanitize items is to soak them in hot water. For this method to work, the water must be at least 171 degrees Fahrenheit. The items must be soaked for at least 30 seconds. Another way to sanitize items is to run them through a high-temperature dishwasher. Tableware, utensils, and equipment can be sanitized by soaking them in a chemical sanitizing solution. Or you can rinse, swab, or spray them with sanitizing solution. 3 common types of chemical sanitizers are chlorine, iodine, and quaternary ammonium compounds, QUATs. Chemical sanitizers are regulated by state and federal environmental protection agencies. In some cases, you can use detergent sanitizer blends to sanitize. In some cases, you can use detergent sanitizer blends to sanitize. Operations that have 2-compartment sinks often use these. If you use a detergent sanitizer blend, use it once to clean. Then use it a second time to sanitize. Several factors influence the effectiveness of chemical sanitizer. Several factors influence the effectiveness of chemical sanitizer. The most critical are concentration, temperature, contact time, water hardness, pH. Sanitizer solution is a mix of chemical sanitizer and water. Too little sanitizer may make the solution weak and useless. Too much sanitizer may make the solution too strong and unsafe. It can also leave a bad taste on items or corrode metal. Concentration is measured in parts per million, ppm. To check the concentration of a sanitizer solution, use a test kit. Hard water, food bits, and leftover detergent can reduce the solution's effectiveness. Change the solution when it looks dirty or its concentration is too low. Check concentration often. The water in sanitizing solutions must be the correct temperature. Follow manufacturer's recommendations. For a sanitizer solution to kill pathogens, it must make contact with the object being sanitized for a specific amount of time. Most sanitizers must make contact for at least 30 seconds, some are for as little as 7 seconds. Water hardness is the amount of minerals in your water. Find out what the water hardness is from the municipality. Then work with the supplier to identify the correct amount of sanitizer to use for your water. Find out what the pH of the water is from the municipality. Find out what the pH of the water is from the municipality. Then work with the supplier to find out the correct amount of sanitizer to use for the water. Scrape or remove food bits from the surface. Use the correct cleaning tool, such as a nylon brush or pad, or a cloth towel. Wash the surface. Prepare the cleaning solution with an approved cleaner. Wash the surface with the correct cleaning tool, such as a cloth towel. Rinse the surface. Use clean water. Rinse the surface with the correct cleaning tool, such as a cloth towel. Allow the surface to air dry. Sanitize the surface. Use the correct sanitizing solution. Prepare the concentration per manufacturer requirements. Use the correct tool, such as a cloth towel, to sanitize the surface. Make sure the entire surface has come in contact with the sanitizing solution. Allow the surface to air dry. All food contact surfaces need to be cleaned and sanitized at these times. After they are used. Before food handlers start working with a different type of food. Any time food handlers are interrupted during a task and the items being used may have been contaminated. After 4 hours if items are in constant use. Unplug the equipment. Take the removable parts off the equipment. Wash, rinse, and sanitize them by hand. You can also run the parts through a dishwasher if allowed. Scrape or remove food from the equipment surfaces. Wash the equipment surfaces. Wash the equipment surfaces. Use a cleaning solution prepared with an approved cleaner. Wash the equipment with the correct cleaning tool, such as a nylon brush or pad, or a cloth towel. Rinse the equipment surfaces with clean water. Use a cloth towel or other correct tool. Sanitize the equipment surfaces by making sure the sanitizer comes in contact with each surface. The concentration of the sanitizer must meet requirements. Allow all surfaces to air dry. Put the unit back together. Tableware and utensils are often cleaned and sanitized in a dishwashing machine. Larger items such as pots and pans are often cleaned by hand in a 3-compartment sink. Whichever method chosen, specific practices must be followed so items are cleaned and sanitized. High-temperature machines use hot water to clean and sanitize. If the water is not hot enough, items will not be sanitized. Extremely hot water can bake food onto the items. The temperature of the final sanitizing rinse must be at least 180 degrees Fahrenheit. For stationary rack, single-temperature machines, it must be at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. The dishwasher must have a built-in thermometer that checks water temperature at the manifold, where the water sprays into the tank. Chemical sanitizing machines can clean and sanitize items at much lower temperatures with chemicals. Follow the dishwasher manufacturer's guidelines. Operate the dishwasher according to the manufacturer's recommendations, and keep it in good repair. Keep the machine clean. Clean the machine as often as needed, checking it at least once a day. Clear spray nozzles of food and foreign objects. Remove mineral deposits when needed. Preparing items for cleaning. Scrape, rinse, or soak items before washing. Pre-soak items with dried-on food. Loading dish racks. Use the correct dish racks. Load them so the water spray will reach all surfaces. Never overload dish racks. Drying items. Monitoring air dry all items. Never use a towel to dry items. You could recontaminate them. Monitoring. Check water temperature, pressure, and sanitizing levels. Use heat tape or test strips to monitor the temperature of the sanitizing rinse. Another option is a maximum registering thermometer. Operations often use a 3-compartment sink to clean and sanitize large items. Clean and sanitize each sink and drain board. Fill the first sink with detergent and water. The water temperature must be at least 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Fill the second sink with clean water. This is not necessary if items will be spray rinsed instead of being dipped. Fill the third sink with water and sanitizer to the correct concentration. Hot water can be used as an alternative. Provide a clock with a second hand. This will let food handlers time how long items have been in the sanitizer. Rinse, scrape or soak items before washing them. If items are being soaked in the first sink, change the solution when food bits start to build up or the suds are gone. Wash items in the first sink. Use a brush, cloth towel, or nylon scrub pad to loosen dirt. Change the water and detergent when the suds are gone or the water is dirty. Rinse items in the second sink. Spray the items with water or dip them in it. Make sure to remove all traces of food and detergent from the items being rinsed. If dipping the items, change the rinse water when it becomes dirty or full of suds. Sanitize items in the third sink. Change the sanitizing solution when the temperature of the water or the sanitizer concentration fall below the requirements. Never rinse items after sanitizing them. This could contaminate their surfaces. The only exception to this rule is when you are washing items in a dishwasher that can safely rinse items after they have been sanitized. Air dry items on a clean and sanitized surface. Place items upside down so they will drain. Once utensils, tableware, and equipment have been cleaned and sanitized, they must be stored in a way that will protect them from contamination. Follow these guidelines. Storage. Store tableware and utensils at least 6 inches off the floor. Protect them from dirt and moisture. 6. Storage surfaces: glasses and flatware. Clean and sanitize drawers and shelves before storing clean items. Glasses and flatware. Store glasses and cups upside down on a clean and sanitized shelf or rack. Store flatware and utensils with handles up. Staff can then pick them up without touching food contact surfaces. Trays and carts. Stationary equipment. Clean and sanitize trays and carts used to carry clean tableware and utensils. Check them daily, and clean as often as needed. Stationary equipment. Keep the food contact surfaces of stationary equipment covered until ready for use. Non-food contact surfaces must be cleaned regularly. Examples include floors, ceilings, equipment exteriors, restrooms, and walls. Regular cleaning prevents dust, dirt, and food residue from building up. If a person has diarrhea or vomits in the operation, these spills must be cleaned up the correct way. Correct cleanup can prevent food from becoming contaminated and keep others from getting sick. The way you clean up these substances is different from the way you clean other items in the operation. Think about the following. How you will contain liquid and airborne substances, and remove them from the operation. How you will clean, sanitize, and disinfect surfaces. When to throw away food that may have been contaminated, what equipment is needed to clean up these substances, and how it will be cleaned and disinfected after use. When a food handler must wear personal protective equipment. How staff will be notified of the correct procedures for containing, cleaning, and disinfecting these substances. How to segregate contaminated areas from other areas. When staff must be restricted from working with or around food or excluded from working in the operation. How sick customers will be quickly removed from the operation. How the cleaning plan will be implemented. Cleaning tools and chemicals must be stored in a separate area away from food and prep areas. The storage area should have the following. Good lighting so staff can see chemicals easily. Hooks for hanging mops, brooms, and other cleaning tools. Floor drain for dumping dirty water. To prevent contamination, never clean mops, brushes or other tools in sinks used for hand washing, food prep, or dishwashing. Additionally, never dump mop water or other liquid waste into toilets or urinals. When storing cleaning tools, consider the following. Air dry towels overnight. Hang mops, brooms, and brushes on hooks to air dry. Clean and rinse buckets. Let them air dry, and then store them with other tools. Storage and labeling disposal. Store chemicals in their original containers away from food and prep areas. Separate by spacing or partitioning. If chemicals are transferred to a new container, the label on that container must list the common name of the chemical. Disposal. When throwing out chemicals, follow the instructions on the label and any requirements from your local regulatory authority. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, has requirements for using chemicals. OSHA requires chemical manufacturers and suppliers to provide a Material Safety Data Sheet, MSDS, for each hazardous chemical they sell. An MSDS contains the following information about the chemical: safe use and handling, physical, health, fire and reactivity hazards, precautions, appropriate personal protective equipment, PPE, to wear when using the chemical, first aid information and steps to take in an emergency, manufacturer's name, address, and phone number, preparation date of MSDS, hazardous ingredients and identity information. MSDS are often sent with the chemical shipment. MSDS are often sent with the chemical shipment. You can also request them from your supplier or the manufacturer. Staff have a right to see an MSDS for any hazardous chemical they work with. Therefore, you must keep these sheets where they can be accessed. To develop an effective cleaning program for your operation, you must focus on 3 things: creating a master cleaning schedule, training your staff to follow it, monitoring the program to make sure it works, what should be cleaned, who should clean it. List all the cleaning jobs in one area, or list jobs in the order they should be performed. Who should clean it? Assign each task to a specific individual. When it should be cleaned. Staff should clean and sanitize as needed. Schedule major cleaning when food will not be contaminated or service will not be affected. Schedule work shifts to allow enough time. How it should be cleaned. Have clear, written procedures for cleaning. List cleaning tools and chemicals by name. Post cleaning instructions near the item. Always follow manufacturer's instructions when cleaning equipment. Schedule time for training. Work with small groups or conduct training by area. Make sure the cleaning program is working. Supervise daily cleaning routines. Check all cleaning tasks against the master schedule every day. Change the master schedule as needed for any changes in menu, procedures, or equipment. Ask staff during meetings for input on the program. Which thermometer should be used to monitor the temperature of the sanitizing rinse in a dishwashing machine? Glass. Infrared. Bimetallic stemmed. Maximum registering. What is sanitizing? Reducing dirt from a surface. Reducing the pH of a surface. Reducing the hardness of water. Reducing pathogens to safe levels. If food contact surfaces are in constant use, how often must they be cleaned and sanitized? Every 4 hours. Every 5 hours. Every 6 hours. Every 7 hours. What must food handlers do to make sure sanitizing solution for use on food contact surfaces has been made correctly? Test the solution with a sanitizer kit. Use very hot water when making the solution. Try out the solution on a food contact surface. Mix the solution with equal parts of water. A food handler was assigned to clean a slicer that was too difficult to move. The slicer was unplugged. Then the removable parts were taken off the slicer and cleaned and sanitized in a 3-compartment sink. Food bits on the slicer were removed. After the machine was wiped down with detergent and water, it was sanitized and allowed to air dry. Then the food handler put the machine back together. What mistake did the food handler make? Failed to dry the machine with a clean cloth after sanitizing it. Failed to sanitize the machine before taking the removable parts off. Failed to rinse the machine after wiping it down with detergent and water. Failed to wash the machine with detergent and water before taking it apart. What should be done when throwing away chemicals? Seal the container and recycle it. Seal the container in a bag and place it in the garbage. Follow the label instructions and regulatory requirements. Pour leftover chemicals into a drain and throw the container away. How should flatware and utensils that have been cleaned and sanitized be stored? With handles facing up. Below cleaning supplies. In drawers that have been washed and rinsed. 4 inches from the floor.